This is the last problem from the hard bucket, and it has a quite lengthy explanation. So we are given with an integer array, and we can do some odd number of germs or even number of germs. So we have few conditions provided over here. Like during the odd numbered jump, we have to we can jump only if like the a of I is less than a of j, and a of j is the smallest possible value. Okay, so if there are multiple j indexes of j, then we can jump only to the smallest such index j. And in the case of even numbered jump, like 2 4 6, then we can jump to the j index if a of I is greater than a of j, and a of j is the largest possible value, and here also the j should be smallest. And in the case for some index I, there are no legal jumps. So if we have nothing such cases, then we can't have any jumps. So we have to return the possible starting indexes, the number of starting indexes that can possible. Like for this case, we are given with a integer array, and we have to reach to the last index, right? So one possible index will be like here itself. So if we are starting from 15 itself, and let's say we are starting from 10, then the first jump will be a odd jump. So in case of a odd jump, we will check the numbers greater than 10. So the numbers greater than 10 are 13, 12, 14, 15. But we have to take the smallest number which is greater than 10. So it's 12. So we will jump to 12, something like that. And then in case of an even number jump, we will check the number which is smaller than 12, and then again the uh, the same conditions applied. Like the if we are checking for the smaller one, then within the smaller one we have to check the greater one. So ultimately we have to say, like, to reach to the last index, how many good indexes will be there to start from. Is there any questions regarding the problem statement? Like it has a lengthy explanation. I might have not put into right words. So any question?
I'm not able to understand the question actually. Like if we can do it with any example and run it, like how is the solution reached?
Yeah, so let's try with this example only. So let's say we are at starting index 10. So our index value I is equals to 0, right? So the first jump will be obviously odd jump. Like the first jump is even the number one jump is odd jump. So the odd jump has a condition, like you can jump to j index if a of I is greater than a of j. So a of j should be greater, like the numbers which are greater than 10. So 13, 12, 14, 15. All the rest of the numbers are greater than 10. But we have to choose the number which is smallest among these. So 12 is the smallest among these. And let's say we have a multiple number of 12s, like here also 12, here also 12. Then we have to choose the smallest index of 12, right? So I think it's clear till here. Like if we had an odd jump.
Yeah, this one is.
Okay, again, if you come up to this position, then we have to, since this will be our second jump if we do a jump. So for the second jump, we have to look for the numbers which are smaller than the uh, index numbers, like the numbers which are smaller than 12. So over here, no numbers are smaller than 12. So we can't go further. So I guess the starting index can't be 10. So again, we have to check with 13, and 13 won't be valid again. Again, with 12, it won't be valid. So the numbers which are valid are like 14 and 15 only. So if we start from 14, so the first jump will be a odd jump, and the number greater than 14 is 15 over here. So there is one possible way to reach here is, like, we can start from 14, and the other way is we can start from the last index only. So the output will be 2. So there are only two possible ways to reach 15. Am I clear?
Yeah, so I was thinking if we can go with the even jumps.
Okay. Okay.
with the different. Yeah, we can go through this example also.
Okay, so let's just start from this index position. And the first jump is a odd jump. So we will look for the numbers which are greater than 2. So the number which is greater than 2 is 3 and 4, but we will look for the smallest among these. So we will look for 3. And now over here we can see the numbers are 1 and 1, which are smaller than 1. So in our even jump, we will check the number which is smaller than the index number. So the number smaller than the 3 is 1 and 1. So we have to look for the number which is at the lesser index. So we'll go to this one position. Am I clear for the even part?
Yeah, so this is like we did two jumps right now.
Yeah, we did 2 jumps right now. Again, the jump will be a odd number of jump, like third jump. So for the
Yes.
third jump, we will look the number which is greater than 1. So we have only one number which is greater than 1, that's 4. So one possible index is we can start from this 2.
Yes, and we need to return the good indexes from where we can start, correct?
Yeah,
So right now we found only one index.
yeah.
So now we have to start from 3 again and
Wait,
then
wait.
do it.
I, it's written like start index I is 0 is not good. Wait, 2, 3.
Yeah, it's written I is equal to 0 is not good.
Yeah, it's greater than I can over here. Then for 3. I will look for the number less than it, and yeah, I went here. Okay, I missed the
Yeah,
yeah, I equal to thing, like equal to thing. So if we are here, then we have to look also the equal part. So if we go here, then 1, that's 2, and then 3. Yeah, so the next jump will be a odd jump, even jump. So in an even jump, we can't find any number which is less than 1. So I equals to 0 is not possible because in the previous approach I missed the equal to thing.
So we'll not go from 3. We should not go from to like index 2, like index 2 1's point. We are going to index 3 1 position. Index 3 the value is 1. We are jumping to that.
Pardon, what you said?
Like from for even jump we
Yeah,
are going for index 3.
yeah. For the first jump is the odd jump, so we went to 3 from 2.
Mm-hmm. And then for
Then
even jump,
for even jump, I have to look for the numbers which are less than or equal to 3. So we got 1, and again the jump will be a odd jump. So we have to look the number which is greater than or
greater
equal
than
to
or
1.
equal to.
okay,
So
okay,
we reached here. So again, we have to look for the numbers which are less than or equal
less
to 1.
than, okay,
So we have
got
no
it.
numbers over there. So it's not possible. It's not a good index.
So now we should start from index 1 again. Like,
Yeah, like the brute force, like if we are iterating everything, if you're checking for each index, then we will go for this, then again for this. And
okay.
so, are there any questions? Okay, fine. So, anyone who tried solving this question or wants to tell his or her approach how to solve this?
Yeah, I have actually solved this problem.
Yeah,
Let me
please.
first check.
Do you want to share your screen?
Yeah, I mentioned.
Okay.
So essentially, if we look at this problem, the even and odd jumps, the one of the things that is clear from the question point or the problem statement is every node in the array, if it can have either an even jump from where if my position is currently this one, I can either have an even jump or have an odd jump. There's no other way, right? If I somehow reach to this node, I can either have an odd jump or I have an even jump. Now, considering there are only two states, the movement from this node will always be fixed. Like, because of the values, like suppose 10, 11, 13, 12, 15, and 1. And based on the even movement, we will always be looking for a value which is lower than 11 or equal to 11, but the maximum value, which is essentially what the lower bound of a value, right? So anything which is less than 11 and less than or equal to 11 after this. So in this case, it is this one, right? And other approaches, odd one. So if somehow from any place in the previous part, I reach here, and now I have to do an odd jump from here, I know for sure there will be only one destination, which is the lowest number, which is greater than this, which is in this case, this one. In any scenario, for every number, these will be fixed. Is that understood till now?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now we have two arrays. Let's see. One gives me even jumps and one gives me odd jumps. Essentially what it says, if you are at this position, if you are at the first index in the array, from here you have to go to index 3. Just example, I'm just giving example, these are not the actual values. If you are at here and you have to do an even jump, you go to 2 or you go to suppose 2. From here you will go to 5, from here you will go to 7. Same way for odds, you have like 2, 3, and some will have -1. -1s are those where you cannot move forward, right? So let's say example of this one. From here, if I had to take a odd jump, anything which is greater than or equal to 15 and after this, there's no possible way, right? So its odd array value will be -1. That means I cannot move forward if I reach here based on any condition of odd. Clear till now? Any questions over here? I can repeat at this part because I'll erase this code and then recreate
So
one.
I got the like -1 and other things. Like, you 3, 2, 5, 7. The rest values. What are you doing for that?
Yeah, I'll come back to that. Is the part where you have to optimize everything. I'm just giving you the crux of problem. Then
Okay.
I'll solve the middle part.
Okay.
Okay. So essentially, just assume somehow you get this array, which is for every index you find what is the next value on even jump and what is the next value on odd jump. Is that okay till now?
Yeah.
Okay. So once you have even array jumps, this is even, and then you have odd array jumps. From the definition of the problem, we know the last element. Let's say there's another array. There are two other arrays. By definition of the problem, we know that if you start from the last node, you're already at the last node. So it's, you can reach to a last node from the last node, right? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Right. So these two arrays, suppose, represent whether you can reach the last element if at the current element you do a even jump or if you do a odd jump. Suppose I'm here, I have reached third element, and if I do a even jump from here, whether I will be able to reach the last element or not. And for odd, I can say I can reach the end taking an odd step from here. Right now, how to fill this array is something like this.
So I can't understand this part. What you said.
Okay. So suppose you have this array which tells me even, and this one is which tells me odd. Okay, and now what I need to find out is, starting from any index in the array, can I reach till the end?
Yeah.
Right. Now, let's take example of even. Just take one array for now. Ignore even or odd. I know I can reach last element from last element, right? That is fine.
Yeah.
Now let's find any other element in the array which can reach this node. Okay.
Okay.
Right. It can reach last node either through an even jump or an odd jump.
Okay.
Right. Now, reaching here, if any of the values in this array, this is my even jump array, right? Any of the values in my array gives the index as, suppose this is the 18th index, 18. That means from here, I can reach the last element, right?
Okay. Okay.
So now this one will be true. I can reach to the last if I do an even jump from here.
Okay.
Right? Same way would have another array which would tell me at any index, if I do a odd jump, can I reach the last index or not? Because ultimately, if you see, if you follow this one, so now you are at suppose index 7, and some this is even, right? Now someone can do a, or someone from the odd jump can reach to 7. That means it will create a graph kind of structure, right? And it will always be zigzag. One entry will be even, one entry will be odd, because you first have to take an odd step, then even step, then odd step, then even step. You just have to keep track of the indexes which are being followed, right? 18th is the one you reach here. Then can you reach 7th index from the odd? Yes, you can reach from here. Can you reach, suppose this is 3. Can you reach 3 from somewhere in the even? Yes, you can reach from 2. Then this will give you a chain. Anywhere in between you start, you can reach the final index. So at this index, if you do an even step, it's true. At this index, if you do a odd step, it's true. At index 2, if you do an even index, then it's true, right?
Okay.
Is this clear till now?
So why are you using like other two arrays? Like we can just do with the even odd array only. Like the first time we will look for this the odd even array, then we will sorry, the first time we'll look for the odd array, and then I will look for the index that it stores, and then I will move to the even array, like on the same index. Then I will check whether I'm able to get into the last
right. So
index.
For the simplicity, I have created another one. What you can do is just keep following the backward trend and keep adding index 18 to everything.
Yeah. Okay.
That's also a fine approach. I'm not just saying. I'm just for simplicity purpose. I have just created another one so that we are clear that's true and false. What does it mean?
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Plus,
so now
plus performance actually, because he made it like, he already calculated everything. So he's saving O of n time again doing the same calculation, because he knows that it will lead to a success or failure.
Okay.
Is this clear till now?
Yeah.
Right. So now so any point in time I have created this true and false array, right? Now to start with, I'll need an odd step, right? So I'll need an odd step to start from any of those indexes. So at the end, what you just have to do is just count these number of trues in the odd array. The odd true false array, that will give you the starting points from where you can go and reach to the end.
Yeah.
Right, because the first step will always be odd. So even array is just to create this odd, because it will always be a zigzag manner movement.
Okay.
Right. Is this clear?
Yeah. Go ahead.
Okay. No, this was the main crux of the problem. Now the challenge is how to create this even odd array.
Okay.
So the one which says, okay,
we can like iterate over the integer array that we're provided with.
Right.
And,
I did it with n square. Like
yeah,
every time you do a loop.
because since it's a DP problem, so the time constant is, so the constants are very less. So n square will be fine to store.
Right. So it works on lead code. It is accepted, but it's around just 15% of the performance. You can do it. It's better than only 15% of the other problems, at least in my case.
Yeah, because I guess you're doing it's in a recursive way, and if if you do it in a like if you form a recurrence relation, then it might give
No,
a,
I'm not using recursion anyway. It's all iterative.
yeah, that was
The
in,
only thing,
yeah.
the only thing is this array calculation of even movement and even jumps and odd jumps. That's taking the maximum time because I'm using n square, like
Yeah.
taking an index I equal to 1 and then finding everywhere in the remaining array which one will fit into that characterization.
Yeah, so what you can do is like you can do a binary search over the other part, like despite in spite of doing the okay, but I guess
But the
yeah,
input is not sorted.
yeah. For that you have to do with the pair thing.
Right. So the answer, the optimization in that is somewhat related to sorting only, but instead of doing sorting one, every part, what we can do is what you did in the earlier problem, just make pairs of value and index,
Yeah.
sort them out. So you'll always get value which is smaller than here, like there will be 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 5, then 10 or and greater than this, right?
Okay.
So this, if you see, is a monotonic stack, right? So suppose the index here is 1, index here is 0, index here is 2, index here is 3. I'm just taking an example. So first time you see something and there's nothing in the stack, you can just put it there, like 2, 1. Right? Next time you see 2, 0, right? There's a 2, 0 which is coming before this, so it's not going to be answer, right? Your index here is not going to match. So based on the problem statement that we have, like suppose 10, 13, 2, and 2, right? So if you have these 2s, for this 2 will never be answered, right?
Okay.
Because we are already searching on the right hand side.
Yeah.
Index is always right. So in this case, 2, 0 cannot be an answer for 2, 1. So we'll just put 2, 0. Now coming to the next point, 4, 2. We for sure know this is greater than anything which is already put in the stack, right? Because all the elements are sorted. Now considering the first scenario where we have to take odd steps. Just assume I'm creating this for odd. So I have to find the lowest value greater than the current value, right? Now if you see this 4, this is greater than anything which is already in the stack, which does not have anything assigned till now, right? This 4 can be answer for any of those 2. Now, how do we define whether it's an answer or not? Let's take an index and find out whether this is greater than any of the indexes. So 2, 0, yes. 4 is greater than this, index is greater than this. So for any 2, 0 value, which is value 2, index 0 in the original array, the answer will be 4, 2. That means for the index 0, value 2, the next odd jump will be at index 2, which has value 4. Does this make sense till now?
Yeah, somewhat like not much.
If not, I can go with the clear approach. I can simulate this thing.
This I can visualize it like in a brute approach, like without like stack and all. Like
Right. So if you have that brute force approach, that's the exact thing. But we are just trying to reduce that from n square to somewhat n with the space extra of n.
Okay.
Let me do one thing. Let me just simulate it with actual example. Like we have 2, 2, 10, 9, and 13, right? And we are taking it for the odd ones. Now the array which I have to sort will be 2, 0. I'm just creating pairs. 2, 1, 13, 4. Once I sort this one, it will give me value is 2, 0, 2, 1, 4, 3, 10, 2, and 13, 4. Right? Let's keep this as a stack here. Now I first come here and I know it's 2, 0 and there's nothing on stack. So I'll just go ahead and put it there. Now I come 2 and 1, right? I can check this with the top of the array. Will this 2, 1 be an answer for 2, 0? Is this value 2 and 2 greater than or equal to 2? Yes. One condition is satisfied. Is the index 1 after the index 0? Yes, that is also true. So what I'll do is I'll clear this out. I'll remove this one for array. Okay. And I'll assign this one an index 1. That means the next element to the right of it, which is less than or equal to 2 and which is minimum, is 2 itself in the next place, which is index 1. Is this clear till now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So,
then I have to,
why do you remove, like, popped it out? Like, I am not getting.
because I have found what I needed for that. I don't need it anyway. So this one will never be an answer for anything in future because this is the lowest value.
Okay.
Right? So I removed it and I'll put the next value which I have to find, 2, 1. Does it make sense till here?
Yeah.
Now moving forward, I have 4, 3. Now I have to find out whether 4, 3 can be a right choice of the next step for the top of the stack. 2, 1, right? So 2 is less than 4 and 1 is less than 3. So yes, for this one, next step will be this one and then the index for that will be 3. So if you see from the original array, I can go here and from this I can go to index 3, which is essentially here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Again, as I have found the answer for this one, I'll remove this from the stack and put 4, 3. Now coming to 10, 2. Now I can see 4 is less than 10, but the index of 10, which is 2, is less than, so this cannot be answered because it exists before. Then I'll do 10 and 2. I'll push this onto the stack, right? Going to the next and last one is 13 and 4, or 13 and 4. 13 is less than the top, yes. 13 is greater than the top, yes. 4 is greater than 2, yes. So for this one, the jump will be at to 4th index, right? Which is essentially from 10 will go to 13. Now, coming to the next step, because we still have some entries in the stack and we still haven't verified everything for the stack entries. So for this entry also, we see 13 is greater than 4 and 4 is greater than 3. Fine. So this one will also have an entry of 3 as the next step. Now, this one is not done. What we'll do is we'll push it into the stack. 13, 4. Now there's no more element to process. So we'll pop everything out of the stack and mark them as -1. Means they are not reachable to any other step. They don't have any valid next step. Right? So if we output this one based on the array, what we'll get is 1, 3, 4, 4, -1. So if we have to take odd steps, from the first one, it will go to the next one. If we have to take order from the second index, we'll go to the third index. If we have to take from the second and third index, they will go to 4th. But from the last index, we cannot go any more. Same way, we can do it for the even jumps. Only the conditions of these comparison conditions will change. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense.
One of the challenge or corner scenario which I faced in the entire thing, because of which a couple of my scenarios were failing, was when I'm sorting this way, when you have exactly same values, ensure that your index first will be assigned first. Like if you have value 2 and at that set index 3, 4, and 5, your ordered array should be like 2, 3, 2, 4, and 2, 5. If it becomes 2, 5, 2, 4, and 2, 3, you'll have wrong values assigned in the array because we need first index of the same.
Yeah, I thought of this, but I guess if you're sorting, then I guess the index with the lower value will come first every time, like in any language, I guess.
Yeah, but what I was doing was I was using the same sorted array and then again resorting it. That's why I might have faced this problem.
Okay.
But this is just my observation, so I wanted to make sure that everyone is aware.
No, I initially thought for this, but I thought but if you're sorting, then every time we will be getting index of smaller one in the front.
Right.
Okay, I think we have crossed an hour, so.
Oh yeah, I did not realize that.
So I guess we have to stop the meeting, like, stop the recording, and we can discuss